I wonder what God has been warning you about today. I wonder what you maybe, those times when you hear and you just know in the pit of your stomach, that's a warning from God. And like I said, normally when those warnings come, we're not too thrilled to hear them. They don't always fit in with our plans, and frequently we'll try and say, well, that's not what God was saying. He was saying something else. God's warnings are the result of his watching. He sees. And so I wonder, maybe God's warned you about your kids. Maybe, you have noticed that they're starting to run with the wrong crowd. And you've observed that. There's just something that happened, some sort of a situation that God allowed to happen, and you saw it. He put you, just like, King Nebuchadnezzar, seeing, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace, and Jesus Christ himself being there with them emerging without, that's a sign. Maybe you've had some sort of a sign with your kids that, they're hanging with the wrong crowd, or they're starting to have bad attitude, or maybe you've seen some sort of a sign that tells you, I'm not spending enough time with my child. Maybe you've seen some sort of sign with your kid where you realize, spiritually speaking, they're not where they need to be, and that's on me. That's a warning from God. He's giving you that warning because he has a different vantage point than you. He sees what you can't. Oftentimes, God's warnings to me might come through my wife. Listen up, guys. Because, my wife, especially where the kids are concerned, she's got a radar that I don't even hope to have. I mean, it's just like ridiculous. And so she sees things, as my kids are all grown and married now, but she would see things with the kids, and she'd say, hey, this is going on. Pay attention to that. I'm like, what? No. She's right, So, hey, what's God been warning you about? Maybe he's been warning you about your marriage, Maybe you've been neglecting your spouse, or as I said, maybe there's someone at the office you've been flirting with. Maybe, you've been on Facebook and you've been thinking, oh yeah, I wonder what so-and-so from high school has been doing. And God's right there. And just the Holy Spirit, he whispers, don't do that. See, that's a warning from God, and he's warning you because he's watching, and he knows. And he sees it all. And he knows what you're about to do. He knows what you're thinking. He knows the intents of your heart. He knows what you're watching on TV. He knows what you're doing online. He knows what you're doing with your money. And from time to time, he shows up and he warns us, doesn't he? So I wonder, and I ask you kind of take a walk with this week, what's God warning you about?